a lawyer, an activist, a family member who lost their great-grandfather to lynching.
My great-grandfather, Thomas William Miles Sr., was lynched in 1912.
Because he was a black man that had a business, and somebody didn't like that.
There was no accountability. Families torn apart, communities torn apart, loss of businesses, loss of history.
It physically hurts to think about all of these people who were murdered in such a horrific way.
Terror is ugly. What happened to African Americans is ugly. And so if you have to be confronted with its ugliness, that's just what it was.
But it is also uplifting when you can talk about it and it can bring your family closer.
We know what the rhetoric is right now, make America great. Well, we make America great by uniting America. And so having these conversations now, it is the most important time to have it so that we don't go back to where we went to in the past, and that is use racial terror and racial hatred to deal with this fear of what is happening economically.
Equality, something we've reached it already. However, studies clearly demonstrate that on job applications and mortgage applications, the names Jamal and Onisha and Peter and Paul are still often not treated equal, even if they were created that way.
Shirah Dedman, she's the filmmaker for this documentary. You can see it online. You're a nomad.
I used to work in the entertainment industry, and I just saw, the frustration of underserved, filmmakers saying like, oh, please let us in. That's the way I say it. Let us in to this group. Pick us, choose us. And I'm like, dude, you're not going to get chosen. This stuff is based on comps, which means comparisons. Does your stuff compare to stuff that has been before? Well, systemically, we know what's been made before. So it becomes institutionalized as to the reason why you're not being chosen, right?
Wow.
And so that's the reason why I'm like, we need to start creating our own system.
Going back to the mortgage crisis, people were taking out loans that they couldn't afford, like these predatory loans, right? That would balloon on you.
You a Nomad is about stimulating conversation about what's happening in the Black community and what we can do about it. So obviously having that on a shelf and just existing and being able to point to it, or even say, oh, look at it's in a film festival, like that's great, but is this getting in front of the audience I needed to get in front of to start those conversations that we as a Black community need to start having?
To me, it's crazy that they try to put the blame on the standard homeowner who took out these loans when then they turn around and say, well, we couldn't foresee what was going to happen, so the taxpayers should bail us out. Like, how does that make any sense? So you created these crazy financial schemes and financial instruments that you couldn't understand, yet the average homeowner was supposed to figure it out, and they deserve to lose their home.
I think we need to stop being talking about what's being done to us and what we can do. And
we have to share information. We have to gather it. We have to share it, because from my perspective, a lot of us don't share it. We learn it and we take it away.